Ahmed, you were talking about the first day of the protest. You were at the Egyptian Museum, which is where students here went. A couple weeks ago, we were watching the television as the events unfolded, and we saw the Egyptian Museum getting basically cleaned out. Can you tell me what kind of artifacts were destroyed or taken while you were there, and how does this affect the your business, the tourism business, and um, do you feel that you'll see in the future people coming back to Egypt to visit the culture and learn about the history?
Look, first, like, I would like to talk about I would like to talk about the museum and what happens to the museum. Yes, I know that so many pieces are being taken. They steal so many pieces from the Egyptian museum. And truly, we don't know exactly the number of these pieces yet. Sometimes they say it's only 8 pieces. Some other times they say it's 11. And from 2 days, they say it's only 5. And truly no one knows. But what I am sure from that the collection of King Tut, the golden collection of King Tut, is being protected. But some other pieces at the Egyptian Museum are being taken. Yes, for the future, I think that Egypt will be changed much and it will attract more tourists. Look, Egypt for a long time, we try hard to attract tourists and we didn't attract more than 12 million. I swear and I believe that after the change, we can attract so many numbers like what is being attracted by the French or the Spanish. We can attract 60 million, I swear. Look, tourism is not only culture. Tourism also is depending on modern countries. When you go to visit a country for a vacation, you wish to do some culture tours, but besides that, you would like to have a modern, nice life you can have around you, as you can enjoy it also. And that what we are miss at Egypt. You already had visited Egypt, and you know so many streets was so dirty, so many streets was not organized, the traffic rules are not respected by any way. I think if we can change all that, believe me, the numbers will be more than what we attract before, but not soon. Maybe after a year or 2 or 3, or even if it was 10 years, I don't care. I care that after 10 years, Egypt will be a modern country and it will attract millions, so my son can find a chance for a job.
Egypt was such a vital part of our trip, and how would you feel if students and college-age kids didn't get to go there or didn't want to go there because of what's happened, and how would that affect their cultural and learning environment?
Sorry again because I didn't hear you very well, but you mean about they didn't want to come because they were afraid from Middle East and
Yeah,
Egypt?
college-age kids.
They have the right for that. Look, Middle East, for let's say the Americans, I know that they believe that Middle East is only fanatics, some people with long beards, machine guns, and it's a dangerous place. And I can understand that. But Middle East, with that revolution, is representing a new face, a face of a young generation who are highly educated, who know internet, and they ask for freedom, not for killing. The problem at Middle East, at Egypt, that always they will keep telling us the dictatorship or terrorists, the dictatorship or the fanatics, the dictatorship or the dark age. But we find out that we are already in the dark age. It's not about dictatorship. We're already in the dark age. So we will not anymore buy the fanatics or the dictatorship. We will not support both. Both, they must go to the hell. The dictatorship and the fanatics. All the radicals with the dictatorship, they must go to the hell. And because of that, You can see in Tahrir Square. In Tahrir Square, it was not those radical guys anymore who control it. And it's not the government who controls it. A young new generation are born in the last 30 years and they look for freedom from both radicals and from the dictatorship. I will not buy any of those anymore.
Ahmed, can you tell me how you personally feel now that former President Mubarak has stepped down, and where do you see the Egyptian government and going in the future, and the feeling that what is the feeling of these protesters, I guess?
You would be astonished if I told you that we're still afraid that he get back to us. We are so afraid that he can get back to the power again. We still not believe that we get rid of him. We still not believe that he stepped down. Every day at morning, I keep watching TV and news and newspapers. He keep telling us, take care, he can jump back. Maybe him or one of his supporters to the power again. Believe me, everyone at Egypt are so afraid only that that man or one of his men can jump to the power again. That's the only thing which the people are afraid from. We are not worried from anything else. We don't worry about the economic. We don't worry about anything else. We don't worry about the fanatics. We know that they will not reach power. Believe me. But we worry that that man can jump to the power again. We didn't believe it yet. We didn't believe that we made that success. It was rage, a revolution of anger against that dictator. And when we get rid of him, we still believe that he may jump back. We don't want him back again. And most of the Egyptians now, most of them, I say most of them, let's say 80%, they believe that the revolution had made success. And those who made the revolution are a great people. But it is still 20%. They still sure having some related feelings to that regime. And because of that, we are so worried. You must know that 30 years of that regime in power had made so many supporters for him, so many senators in parliament, so many businessmen who control the economic and the political system at Egypt. Yes, they are being hidden. They are away from media. But believe me, they are on the dark side, trying to know what they will do next. And we are so worried from those. Because we are afraid that those can bring the dictator back. Or maybe one of them can jump to the power to keep the situation as it was before 25. So that's what we are worried from. Most of the nation are so glad to the revolution. We believe that. Did you know what truly had crushed Mubarak?
No. No.
In England, there was a newspaper had made a manchette, a paper, and it says that the fortune of Mubarak is 40 billion US dollar. Do you remember that one in England? I don't remember the name of the newspaper. On that day, when they say that the fortune of Mubarak are 40 billion US dollar, and at Egypt we had reached that information, all the Egyptians have turned to be against Mubarak. Did you know why? For 30 years we thought that we are poor only because our economic situation are bad and because we have a high birth rate. But when we know that our president have what which is enough to pay our debts for the foreign countries, which is enough to pay our debts for the foreign countries, 40 US billion dollar, we know that it's not about us. We are not the problem, but it's about our president who use us and steal us for a long time. On that day, when they show the real income of President Mubarak and his fortune in Europe, on that day, all the Egyptians had to stand against Mubarak. I can tell you that my family were divided into two. Some of us were supporting Mubarak still, and they say it's better than chaos. And some other, including me, who was against him from the beginning. Because I work with foreigners, and I know what his life in West and East had turned to be. But on that day, when they say that Mubarak owned 40 billion US dollar, believe me, all my family and all the nation had changed it all against him. We suffered from poverty, we suffered from hunger, we suffered from having nothing and no income for so many years, and once we find out that that man who ruled us for 30 years had steal us. So believe me, he lost all the support.
Ahmed,